Hello. The euro exchange rate is now at a very high level, 118, 119. It is very expensive and higher than what was expected at the beginning of the year. Remember, at this time, we could imagine a convergence to one against the dollar. The effective exchange rate is also very expensive. So we are in a situation where the euro currency is expensive. What can be the explanation of that? There are three explanations. One is political. At the beginning of the year, we have very different expectations when we look at the US or Europe. In the US, after Trump election, everyone expected that the fiscal policy would boost the economy. And in Europe, we feared a populism wave with election in Austria, in the Netherlands, in France. And it was a situation where we feared that the Eurozone could burst. In fact, now when we look at the political situation, we see that Trump has done nothing and the economy has not been boosted by its economic policy because there is no economic policy in the US. And in Europe, there is no wave of populism. Macron has won in Netherlands, in Austria, it has been the case too. And so we have very positive expectation on Europe. And we see the difference between the US and the Eurozone. And the second point is that in this environment, the Eurozone appears as a stability region, a stability location. And that's very important. We can imagine a lot of things about what could happen in the US, what could happen in the United Kingdom with negotiation on Brexit will create uncertainty. And Eurozone appears as a stability region. And it's very important. It's for investors, it's really important, and it's a source of the strong euro. The third explanation is about monetary policy. We see in recent weeks that the Federal Reserve in the US is more hesitant in what it can do on its monetary policy because the inflation rate is lower than expected, and it doesn't want to hurry in hiking its interest rates. And we see in the Eurozone that the perception has changed. Remember Mario Draghi in Sintra at the end of June saying we will normalize the monetary policy, and it has been overinterpreted as the end of accommodative monetary policy in Europe. So it has changed the perception. Of course, in Europe, in the Eurozone, monetary policy will not change, as the ECB has said after Draghi's speech. But the perception on investor side has changed. So we are in this situation now. Three explanations: political, stability, monetary policy, and this feeds the euro strength. What we can say is that having a strong euro is logical when we look at the external surplus the Eurozone has. But what we have in mind is that usually the ECB is very attentive to the exchange rate when it goes higher than 115 against dollar. And that's why we expect that in the coming weeks, the message from the ECB will be very accommodative. They can't change their mind about monetary policy just to avoid a disruption on growth or on inflation. So that's why the ECB will maintain a very accommodative monetary policy for an extended period. Thank you.